Ahdeem.
Hi. Good to see
Hi.
you again.
It's
Jeez.
it's good to see you too. We met initially in August and we instantly bonded. I think and I'm just so excited that we did, and I'm very happy that we had the opportunity to work with each other on a set for one of our mutual friends, Phil. So I'm very excited, very, very excited to be able to have this conversation with you. I've been looking forward to it.
Likewise. And by mutually bonded, you mean cackling while on set.
Correct. Correct. Sharing eye conversations. Like, you know how important, first of all, when you first meet somebody, if you can share a look and then you understood what just was said, that is an instant bond. For me, I take that very seriously because it's an art. It's an art form.
Literally. Because at times, we were both just like, I'm making an eye gesture. I'm just going,
Yes.
and then, and
If
we
you're
would
on
lock eyes.
YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you can see what he just did because it's like, you do the side eye, like, did I see what I just thought? Or did or if somebody didn't catch it, we'd
It's
be
like,
like,
I know I'm
run
not the
that
only one
back.
who saw that.
All right, and if not, we're gonna discuss on a break. So we
Which we often did.
which we often did. And so it was a fun time. It was a very good set. It was just good times, good vibes, good people, and I that's what we want to bring here on the podcast. So Adeem, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? This how we started off, get everybody comfortable, get you into the zone with the podcast. So can you tell us a
Sure.
little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, once again, my name is Ahdeem Tinsley. I'm from Philly, born and raised, but moved out to Los Angeles with my boyfriend in October of 2020. Um, I,
Oh, you just hit a year.
yeah,
I'm
literally,
in
we just hit a
LA
year. Oh
life.
my
Oh my
God.
God.
It feels like it's been like 40 the way LA has been, or at least was, whooping me. But
Okay, but we
now,
went in now and we're gonna talk about it too.
okay, once you find that path, I'm starting to beat that track, okay?
Okay.
But before I was getting whooped, not even gonna lie. But I when I got here, I had a background in construction. I was a superintendent and an assistant project manager for, I want to say, going on 5 years prior to us moving here. But I knew that that wasn't my passion. It was just, quicker money, not so fun, but quicker
Mhm.
money. But I knew that my passion was in film, was in art, was in creating, was in styling, was in modeling. So being in LA, opened my horizons and really opened up the floodgates to opportunities to be able to do those things. And thankfully, opportunities like working with Briana and Phil, they help you along the way doing production assistant work, volunteer production coordinator work, now paid, um, now paid work, doing some behind the scenes fashion styling, fashion photography assistant work, working with models. My boyfriend is actually a model, so a lot of the work in my portfolio is actually his in the beginning, and it just has been a wonder, like moving here. And I'm also from Philly, so I'm glad I'm not there because it's cold as hell there, and the weather is always beautiful here, whereas it's always
This
frightful.
is the uptick. The
Okay,
uptick.
we just
Okay.
going up. We just going up. It's just always going up.
And y'all, him and his boyfriend are so cute, y'all.
Thank
Just
you.
saying, okay.
Thank you. If you
I
want to
wanted to,
see us, we will be at the premiere next week.
okay. We'll be at the premiere of the project that we were PAing on, so very exciting. Uh
Yes.
so it's a lot of different things that I'm taking from just that intro. One being like, how was the culture shock? Like, give us the real culture shock from Philly to LA because I know those two places are very different, and especially like, had you been in Philly like your whole life up until you moved? So it's kind of like this is it. I haven't been here, and now it's like, like I know it's not like but it's like okay, the weather, but then like just to do that transition because I'm from Michigan and I'm out here, and so it's kind of like that transition for me it's still different. It's still odd in certain ways, but you find you do intend to find your people though. I
Hmm.
found like a good like branch Voltron group of people who are from Michigan.
Yes,
So these are the people, who you can hang out with too, and it's just like you don't have to explain yourself a little bit. But have you found
exactly.
like some Philly people out here, or like how was that transition? Because I do want to get into that, and then we're gonna get into some more creative
Okay, so you are exactly right. The transition
stuff.
here was definitely a culture shock. And I want to also say that I was very stuck in my ways. Like moving to LA was not my first choice. My
Hmm.
boyfriend had come out here September 2019 visiting friends
Hmm.
who have been living out here, and they're from Philly too. Who have been living out here for a couple years. And this wasn't my first choice on the list to move. So
And your boyfriend's from Philly as well.
yeah, so we're both from
Okay.
Philly, born and
Okay.
raised, and
Okay.
of 28 years, mind you. And yeah, and when we got out here, or rather, when I say when I got out here, it was definitely a culture shock because I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn. It took a lot of growing on me. Now it's definitely growing. The seed is planted and the tree is flourishing.
Hmm.
Um, but prior to, I was just not seeing it past the weather. I didn't see it
Yeah.
for what it is. I mean, the opportunities are endless here, and I'm kind of upset at myself for not really like widening my scope
Hmm.
before coming out here, and then also being more accepting.
I know that you have a passion and a background in styling and fashion and stuff
I
like that
do.
too. And so, can you give me a bit of where that kind of comes into, or has that always been like? Have you always been like, I'm a dress down. Period. Have you always been that person, like even from being young to now, or did you like, I actually want to express myself more in the way that I dress, in the way that I present? How did that come about? Because like in construction, you can't always express yourself in your
Child, I had a
fashion.
uniform. I had a uniform when I was
Yes.
like,
I
okay.
was like, you can't do that. So
Yeah, I
I
had
want
a
to
uniform
understand.
when I was. For me, I was a very shy and timid child to, I want to say, maybe like to teenager,
Mhm,
and it wasn't until I came out uh,
mhm,
that I was like, I gotta start changing this up because like what I have on does not express who I am on the inside.
mhm,
So I started paying attention to fashion more. I had friends when I was in college who were fashion majors, fashion design majors, fashion merchandising majors, and fashion textile design majors. So I was always just in conversation with them. I was always going to their shows. I was always trying to find ways that I could assist with their shows, even when they didn't need my help. My style shifted more towards plus size individuals and just making us look amazing and making us look
mhm,
great.
mhm,
And that's really where my specialty comes in. And I think that's where my specialty comes in because I feel like I get complimented a lot on, like particular pieces or items that I'm
mhm,
wearing. And then I started saying, well, why don't I just dress people for fun? And I started doing that. And then those people got complimented and, said that they like these particular pieces. So it has come to that. I'm still developing this side of myself. I've done a few photo shoots. I styled for a few photo shoots. I'm really trying to expand my portfolio because I want to somehow take have that profession take flight, just like I've managed to then transition into production and film.
mhm,
Um, I'm still working on how that's going to happen, but I know first that I just need to continue to put out content and continue to or continue to assist others put out content so that I can add that to my portfolio and then
mhm.
have someone look at it or do something. I'm not sure what the next steps are, but
How do you feel like it can help and aid people in that, especially like when you say you're geared towards the plus size community? That is a community that has a past of kind of hiding in the shadows and
mhm.
just taking whatever fashion was available to them. Um, how do you feel? Like, what's your thoughts on those statements?
That's a beautiful question, first off. um, I would say that For me, so one of the biggest things that I do for myself, and this is very cliche advice, but it is still as true as it is cliche. I don't follow trends. Like I don't follow trends. Am I do a really, really good job of buying pieces that speak to who I am, like
Hmm.
who I am as a person. I'm a very serious, but at times like goofy and sarcastic individual. I have a very strong personality. I'm very in the background saying, I have a very strong personality. I carry my history, my blackness with me. So at times you'll see like jewelry, like a lot of the jewelry that I wear is my great grandmother's. Like she had a ring that I still have to this day. That was just like it's actual silver, like an actual silver spoon that she got that wraps around a good portion of my finger. And
Oh.
I just wear it, and I just like chunky jewelry, like stuff like that. You know, I buy pieces that speak to me because then those clothes, then I don't have to constantly shift with the times. That clothing can just always stay with me. And I
Hmm.
think for a lot of plus size folks, I think if we as a community just dress how we feel on the inside as opposed to what society projects on us for our exterior, for our outside,
Hmm.
then that's already a step forward for me.
Right.
Now,
Right.
this isn't even to mention like dressing for an occasion, or dressing for, for your age, or dressing for like whatever your spirit feels that day. This is just buy things or have pieces that make you, that you see in you, that you see in yourself, is I think some
Hmm.
of the best fashion advice that I was given ever.
Yeah, and I think that that's important too because it's like buy those pieces that resonate with you because that's ultimately how you're going to be feeling comfortable. What advice would you give someone that may not even understand that direction? Like they don't know, they're not comfortable with themselves. So, how would you suggest that they navigate that terrain?
Okay, so one of the things that I would suggest is, one, start to write down who you are. So this can be as abstract as you want it to be, or as directly related to yourself as you feel in that
Hmm.
moment. And then you can start to search for pieces through designers. There's literally a website that you can go in, and if you type in a word, it will pull up pieces from designers all over, and
Hmm.
it'll show you what that means. Like it's really cool. So like if you were to type in, I feel like I'm goth, you feel like you're goth, or you feel like a metalhead, it will pull up,
Hmm.
boots with spikes. Um it'll pull up all black attire. It'll pull
Hmm.
up band t-shirts, all of these things. I have to find the name of the website. Um there are websites that will, and I use a lot of these websites to help me, because I think that one of the great tools about growing up in the age of the internet is that you can truly use it to your advantage, and not only sourcing pieces, but also just to find like-minded communities that also have already got some of this figured out. So
Hmm.
some of the things that I use are like, for colors. You can use a trend forecasting website, but I only use
Hmm.
it particularly for the colors, because there would just be colors that I never thought to wear before, and I'm just like, oh
Right.
wow,
Or
this
even match them up, right? Like color
okay,
blocking too, because it's like I see some people put some like on paper it sound like this is a wild combo, but like they put it together and it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I would wear that.
it's great. And I would also say that you can look at some of the people who you like whose fashion do you like? Whose fashions get you excited? It can be celebrity, it can be your cousin, it can be
Hmm.
someone you see on the street. And you can either get inspiration from those folks, and then try to source out things that work for you, in terms of size, in terms of price, in terms of availability. Or
Hmm.
you can do a hodgepodge of things, and that can also be your style. It's really like fashion is such an amalgamation of like who you are, the type of clothing, the texture, and also just like what you want to present. So
Hmm.
it's really one of, in my opinion, it's one of the last like bastions of uh, showcasing like you as a person, and
Mhm.
that's one of the things I really loved about that.
I feel like, especially like when you kind of came into your own as fashion, it was like you were also coming into your own as a person because you said that it literally lined up with when you came out, right? Did I
Yeah.
get that? Okay, I was like, I
Oh,
want
you're
to make
right.
sure I'm correct, okay? Because maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but like,
Oh, you're exactly
um,
right.
and like, I think that that's amazing that you got that gift to be like, not only do I accept myself fully and I'm going to present myself fully, but I also am going to take this whole creative form and art form and like not only lift myself up through fashion, but also I want to lift other people up through their fashion and show them how to do that. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I love when like life leads you into your creativity because it's like it didn't sound like it was like you weren't like younger and piecing stuff together. It's like like a little kid. And
You're
maybe you were, but like you like, oh, okay, I don't think anything of it. I just like to match or something. So I think to have that at such a pivotal time is amazing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It took a while to really nail down what it was that I wanted and what
Hmm.
I saw for myself. And it was one of those things. Like I was having a like a cognitive i- like dissonant issue
Uh-huh.
internally because I was like, well, I can't just work in film, or I have to just work in film, and I can't just work in fashion, or I have to just work in. And then I'm like, wait, there are people literally doing everything. I'm like, you can just do whatever you want. You can just do
Right.
whatever you want, and as long as it makes you happy, then like who cares? I mean, because no one
Hmm.
else is going to care.